Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for the Pros Who Know webinar series brought to you by the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation. Our guest speaker for today is Miguel Martinez, founder of the social media agency Influencia. Miguel will be sharing the basics of using an Instagram business account and also pro tips on how to enhance your social media branding. Before we get started, I would like to share with you a quick tutorial on using the chat box feature. If you're accessing the webinar through a laptop, you can locate this tool on the lower center side of your screen, and you simply select the chat icon. And if you're using a tablet, please select the participant icon first, and on the left side, you will locate the chat feature. If you're accessing through a mobile device, please tap on the More option of your screen to access the chat feature. And there's also, I know there's some ways you can send some reactions. So we're trying to keep everyone as engaged with the webinar and also trying to interact as much as possible. As a reminder, please send us your questions and they will be answered at the end of the presentation. And I also want to remind that an email will be sent to all of those that registered through our website. I would now like to acknowledge our sponsors that allow us to bring these weekly webinars to our business community. Thank you to Bank of America, Bank of the West, Chevron, Federal Home Loan Banks of San Francisco, Donaghy Sales, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Comcast, and Union Bank for your support. Here is the agenda for today's presentation. My name is Sandra Vidrio, and I'm the Business Development Officer here at the organization. And as mentioned, we're honored to have Miguel Martinez, who will be sharing with us more information on how to maximize our Instagram account. I would like to start by sharing about the Fresno Area Hispanic Foundation. We're a nonprofit organization in the Central Valley with the mission to promote education and self-sufficiency by fostering entrepreneurship. At this time, the 3 core programs being offered at the foundation include our virtual technical assistance, weekly webinars, and microloan program. We have also launched an 8-session program that is designed to help women entrepreneurs grow their business by using online marketing tools and also develop a strategic marketing plan. You can connect with our team by calling us at 559-222-8705, or you can visit our website to sign up for our weekly webinars. I would now like to welcome Miguel Martinez for the Instagram presentation. So let's go ahead and do some screen sharing here. Hi, Miguel, welcome.
Hey, everyone, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I know we first connected the organization in a webinar that was previously hosted in partnership with the Business Services Center here in Fresno, and it was very informative information about how to use technology right now during these circumstances that a lot of businesses are going through. And so I thought, great way for you to have you. We're excited to have you back and share with us some of these tools and resources. So thank you.
Yes, of course. I'm happy to help. And just to give everyone a little bit of a background of myself and Influencia. Influencia has been in Fresno not too long. I think maybe now it's been 2 years since it's been officially in Fresno. But the idea is that giving small to medium-sized businesses in the Valley an opportunity to take advantage of some of the expertise or some of the best practices that are out there that a lot of the large brands are utilizing. Obviously, the key for small to medium businesses is to be able to leverage certain aspects of social media without necessarily having those big budgets that those big brands have, right? So I really like to always focus on providing businesses just whatever tools are reachable in terms of budgets and really just getting the most that you can out of your social network so that as your business grows, you're really all set up and have the appropriate brand and visibility that you should have so that your network can grow with your business. And then once you get to the phase where you can start launching some actual campaigns and putting some spend behind some customer acquisitions or some selling of whatever products it is that your business sells. So hopefully today will be helpful. We're going to focus specifically on Instagram, and we're really going to cover it in it's like 3 different phases. The first phase is just talking about your account and your profile and your bio, and really just maximizing that to make sure that it's 100% complete before you even start posting, right? And then the other part will be just the capabilities in terms of Instagram and some of the abilities it has to be able to sell products and even just use it for your business, and the different types that you can types of businesses that you can leverage on Instagram. And then really the other aspect will just be overall best practices as we go along for the different categories. And then hopefully we'll have some room at the end. So I know every business is unique, so hopefully we will be able to answer some questions there at the end. So I don't know if we need to cover anything else before I get started, or if I should just jump in and share my screen and let you guys kick it off here.
No, absolutely. It's
We're set? Okay.
We're all set. Thank you.
All right, let me share my screen.
And I do want to remind participants that this presentation is currently being recorded. And so, like I mentioned, everyone will receive a recording of the presentation, and it's also being broadcast live through our Facebook. So please go and like our
Awesome.
Facebook. Yeah.
Hello, Facebook. All right, so here we're kicking off Instagram, right? And I like to tell businesses that especially if the businesses don't have any budget to put ad spend behind any platforms, I always recommend to, if you're going to pick one, definitely pick Instagram, and just because of the capabilities. And if any of you guys out there have tried to if you have a Facebook page, which you should have, even if even if you don't really post much on it, you should have presence, because especially if you have a website, it helps tie in your website, and it helps with the SEO and appearing in Google searches and things like that. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But Instagram has a bit more capabilities in terms of organic reach. And when I say organic reach, I mean, when you post something and without paying to get it shown to people. Facebook now, really, it's more of a pay to play platform, right? Where even if you post something on your business page, you're not really going to reach people unless you pay, put some money behind it. And if you have a business page, you guys have probably received those notifications from Facebook saying, put some spend behind this to reach, X amount of customers near you. So that's what all that's about. But we'll jump right into Instagram here. So a little bit of the history. This is not related to anything in your business. This is just so that you get an understanding of the platform itself. This was the first ever photo shared on Instagram when Instagram came out. And it's just, this was back in 2010. So it's been almost 10 years now since Instagram launched. And it was a photo of the founder of Instagram. He took a photo of his dog and for some reason his foot, but he posted it and added a filter to it, right? So to give you a little bit of a background, Instagram and how it's pivoted. Instagram originally was meant to be more of like a mapping app, right? So you were supposed to go and wherever you were at, you were going to take a picture, and you were going to share that picture with that specific location. But then the founders added a little feature which allowed you to implement different filters. But what ended up happening is they started noticing that the filters became really popular. So they really pivoted to be a photo-centric app, and that's what gave birth to the what we know as Instagram now. So just a little history there. So the first thing we can cover is how to maximize your account and your profile. So what I mean by that is Instagram has different types of accounts, right? So when you first open up an Instagram account, you have just activated a personal account. So there are different types of accounts. There's the personal account, which you just opened up if you're new to Instagram, and then there's a business account. So the difference between the two is if you have a business account, you then unlock the business capabilities for Instagram, which give you, insights, meaning who, you get reporting on who has engaged with your content and a couple other more insights that are valuable to your business. You are able to also add contact information, whether it's a website, or your email or a phone number that people can just click and contact you instantly, which is really valuable for businesses, right? You also unlock the capabilities to launch Instagram ads. If you want to do some paid promotion, you can do that directly via an Instagram business account. And you also unlock it with a call to action or CTAs, right? And that's obviously important for your business to be able to, when someone visits your profile, they can click on something and you can take them directly to an action, which we'll get a little bit more into later in the presentation. So you really want to make sure you're unlocking that. So if you have an Instagram account for your business, but it's not a business account, that would be step one, would be to do that. So here we go a little bit into, obviously every user experience or level of experience on a platform is different. But this is really just, these are the instructions on how to do so. And for anyone, after we run through this, if anyone wants a copy of this, I'm happy to send it to them. So no need to write it down or anything. And then I'll also give everyone my contact information so that you can reach out with any questions. But really, it's easy to activate a business account. You just, again, you log into your Instagram account that you've already created. You go into settings, and then within the settings, you'll see an option that says switch to business profile. And then when you do that, Instagram will automatically, Instagram will automatically ask you to connect to a Facebook page. And that's assuming that you already have a Facebook page for your business. If you don't already, you should definitely do that, but you can bypass that if you don't. But it's really helpful if you can connect your Facebook page and your Instagram page, because that allows you to, especially if you're, a little bit limited on time when you want to post something, that allows you to post something to both your business Facebook page and your Instagram account simultaneously. So it can save you a little bit of time. But and then also when you run ads in the future, you can run ads across Facebook and Instagram, and that way you can reach more of an audience there. So you just want to make sure you do that. And Instagram, when it takes you through it, it allows you to unlock that. And then you want to choose a category for your business. And I would say this is probably the most important aspect of filling out your Instagram account. And the reason it's important is because whatever category that your business is in, that also determines what features are available to you on the Instagram platform, right? If you're a restaurant, for example, then you're going to have a slightly different features than if you were a retailer that sells, physical goods. So it's really important. The categories themselves are already predetermined by Facebook, so you just have to scroll through them and pick the one that more closely resembles your own business. So again, that's a most important part of activating your account. And then after you do that, you get prompted to fill out your contact details. This is also important, right? If you have a website already, if you have a specific business email, if you have a business phone number, this is where you would put that in. And this allows people to be able to contact you directly very quickly. And you have control over what contact details. If you want people to contact you via email and not phone number, you can determine which to activate and which to just leave dormant there. So once you have that and you have your business account in place, then the next phase is your name and username, right? And I don't know if you guys can see my little scroll on the screen, but this here is your username. It's basically your handle, right? It's what it has to be unique to you. No one else can have that. And when you sign up for Instagram, you have to automatically determine what your handle is going to be. And you can change it at any time, but again, it's good to be consistent and to have one handle that your customers can recognize, similar to like a phone number, right? But it's a handle. So that's your username, and then your name is what displays here. So it doesn't have to be your handle; it's your name. So whatever your official business name is, you can make sure that you're displaying it here properly. But the reason why that's important is on Instagram, those are really the only things that are searchable, right? If I go to my Instagram and I go to this little search button to search for something, only the usernames and only the names are what are searchable currently on the platform. Now, I will say that that's changing very quickly, and Instagram is adding a couple more capabilities, right? You can obviously search names, and you can search hashtags and things like that. But in terms of your business and your business being found, your username and your name is very important. So here, if you notice the examples with, these are two different types of businesses, right? This business here is an LA-based retailer, and they sell goods. They sell clothing. It's a fashion line. They sell merchandise, essentially. And this here on the left, Marie Corinne, she's a blogger, right? So she's more of a features content and things like that. But you'll notice that she places her name, but she also adds a category of what she does. And the reason why she does that is because if someone goes on their Instagram account and just types in the word style blogger, now she will appear because she knows people are more likely to search this term than they are to search her name. And it also places her business in the relevant audience where she wants to be, right? So just there are tips like that you can utilize for your business to leverage, and also gives people a better idea of what you do if they're not familiar with your brand yet. So definitely good to keep that in mind. Your Instagram bio, that's basically your little biography, right? That appears on your profile. And I always tell people, this is like if someone gives you 30 seconds or you hop on an elevator with someone, your elevator pitch of what you do, what your business is about, that's basically the same thing as your bio. So it's when someone clicks on your Instagram account and they go to your bio, this is basically going to be maybe their first interaction, first impression of your business. And this is what's going to determine basically what's going to say what action they do, right? Are they going to follow you based on your bio? Was it intriguing enough for them to click on more things? So it's really important that you have a good bio, and then we'll get a little bit into some of those aspects of the bios. But the most limiting or important thing is that you have 150 characters to display here, and you can use emojis. You can get creative with it, and but it's really important to communicate what your business is about in that little short description there. So some of the pro tips of your bios are obviously make sure that you're communicating clearly what you're doing. So it's challenging because you have to communicate what your business is about, but you also want to make sure that you're communicating what your brand is about, right? What is your business's voice, your tonality of your business about? And the more that you can come off as personal or as human, I guess you can say, within your bio, the better, right? So here, the example we have is of a beauty store, right? They're called Derm Store. But if you take a look at their description or their bio, they open up with, "We are here for the unabashed love of skin." So even if that was just there alone, that almost gives you like their mission, right? What are they about? Right there, it tells you they obviously are about skin love, right? And then they take it a step further and they explain exactly what it's about, what they're about. So they tell you we're an authorized retailer of skincare. So they were able to not only portray personality, but they were able to also explain what they're about. And that I would say that's a really great example of how to incorporate that. Plus, they were able to use some emojis, so it keeps it playful. But the more important aspect is that they're clearly describing what they do, and really what their mission is. You'll also see that you do get 150 characters, right? But when you get to a certain point of characters, Instagram implements the more button, which means people have to click on it to continue to read your bio. So if you haven't described or haven't intrigued people enough with this section of your bio, they're definitely not going to click on the more button, right? So you have to make sure that you're being upfront and putting the most important aspect first in your bio. So then with that, we go to the famous link in the bio, right? So if we go back to this example here, you see that they have their link here as well. Instagram has a separate section where you can place the link or website where you want to drive people to, but it does display it right underneath your bio. The reason why, if any of you have used Instagram or have been around Instagram and seen videos or content, that, you always see or hear or read the click the link in the bio, all the time within posts, right? So we can get a little bit more into that as we move forward, but the reason why that is because the bio or the link in your bio of your Instagram profile is really the only clickable website that you can incorporate on your Instagram account. There are there's like a little bit of I guess a get around that now with IGTV, but that's a whole nother presentation, and we'll go down a rabbit hole if we go down through there. But happy to go through that with anyone who may want to know a little bit more about that. But yes, the link in the biography. So here's a pro tip for businesses that maybe have, if you want to sell products, but each of the products has its own, maybe their own separate web page, or maybe you want to offer different services and you want to be able to post about it, and you want people to be able to reach it, and you only get one link in the bio, right? So there are services like Linktree here, which you can see on the screen. And what they do is they enable you to create a landing page and then that landing page you can list multiple links, right? So essentially you can have one link in the bio, but when people click on that link, then it takes them to a screen, like a landing page like this, where you can implement different bios. So if you want people to if you're offering video content, or you're also selling things, and you want people to check out other pages, you give them more options to engage with you there. So it's a good little hack to be able to incorporate that within your business accounts. But I would say that's more of a phase 2, phase 3 of your accounts. I guess what's more important right now is that you're driving people to your website in general. And you can also use Linktree ads to retarget people based on destinations that they visited. So that we can get a bit more into later if you guys want to reach out to me. But it's a good feature to implement. Now we go to Instagram action buttons, right? So action buttons are very dependent on your business type. So here in the example, we have a company called Maker Faire. They're an event company. Obviously, they sell tickets. So because they're that category of company, Instagram has allowed them to unlock a call to action that is get tickets directly on their profile, right? So if there's an event, people are able to click directly on the ticket button, and then it takes them to a page where they can either purchase tickets or sign up or whatever the requirements for those events are. And so, examples of call to actions are call, text, email, book now, buy tickets, or get tickets, as you can see here, shop. There are a couple other different ones. And again, they're going to be dependent on your business type. So whatever your business is, that's what unlocks the specific categories and different categories of Instagram. In terms of lead generation, if you're a business that, if you're not after selling goods, but you're after acquiring leads, right? For example, like a real estate agent would be an example of that. They're trying to acquire new customers. Instagram doesn't really lend itself for lead generation, but you can still do it. You have to, again, rely on the link in the bio tactic, right? If you want to get someone's information, like if you're trying to get people to fill out a form where they give you your name, phone number, and email because they're interested, you're definitely going to rely on a link in the bio tactic. And again, the call to actions on Instagram are more tailored to businesses that can sell transactions directly, on the platform. So like transactions that require people to like, I want to buy this and I'm going to get this, right? So instead of a lead form like discussed. So if you're a business that you sell goods, then again, Instagram is definitely the platform where you want to be, right? So at this point, if you have done all of what we've discussed, then at this point you have 100% complete profile, which means you are now ready to upload content with confidence because your profile is 100% complete. So with that, we go to so the tactics of posting, but more importantly, or not more importantly, but equally important, are the captions, right, on Instagram. So this is where we'll discuss a little bit about what those tactics and best practices are. When you upload a video or a photo on Instagram, you obviously want to also accompany it with a caption. Here, this is an example of Audible. If you guys are familiar with Audible, it's just like the audiobooks platform. But they do, it's audiobooks is like what are you going to take a picture of, right? What content are you going to upload if you're an audiobook company? But they do a really good job of keeping people engaged by doing things like this, right? They encourage engagement by basically inviting people to answer questions. So they'll get responses that way. So again, different tactics, right? But the main goal of the captions, again, if you're selling something, is you obviously want people to click the link in your bio, right? If that's a conversion. And there are now other priorities, I guess, you can accomplish on Instagram if your business type allows it, right? So what I mean by that is, we'll cover it. Right now, this is an example. It's the same post. This is a real estate company in Australia, right? And this is the same post side by side, but what you'll notice is similar to like the link in the bio. When you upload a caption, when you get to a certain point, there is a more button, right? Like the one on the left here. So it gets cropped, and in order to read the rest of the caption, you have to click the more button. Here on the right side, it's the same post, but after you click the more button, right? So the reason why why I'm showing you this is you'll notice that on the left, you don't really have a clear, you're not telling your viewers to do anything, right? You're not being clear with an action until they click the more button. Then you can see that you telling them, if you want to see more about 12 Bird Rock Avenue, tap the link in the bio. So again, they do a really good job of describing their imagery and being playful with words. But again, if you don't intrigue people enough, they're not going to know that you want them to click the link in your bio. And that works for them because maybe they've educated their viewers to do that, right? So it's whatever works for you. But the reason why I was saying is maybe you don't necessarily want to drive people to the link in your bio. And here is an example of a retailer or merchandise seller out of Los Angeles, right? They sell things like coffee mugs, stickers, clothing, things like that. But what you're seeing here on the screen is they're leveraging the product tags, which is what these are called. And they work in a similar fashion as, how when you take a picture of someone and then you can click on it to tag that person or add their handle so that they're now tagged on a photo. Well, Instagram released a feature where you can tag products. And this allows viewers, if let's say I like this mug and I want to buy it, I can click here and then I can purchase this mug directly on Instagram, which is, again, super powerful, right? If what you're trying to do is sell and you're trying to convert, then Instagram has closed the loop and made it easier. Instead of having to drive people directly all the way to your website, you can sell directly on the platform, which again is super powerful. But again, this is only unlocked if you are a business category that's appropriate for this, right? Like retailers or merchandise goods, things like that. But again, this is powerful. You'll see if you included a product within your photo, there'll be this little icon on the left which tells people or viewers that if they click on the photo, the products that are featured in the photo will be revealed, which again, super powerful to incorporate. And again, going back a little bit to the captions, you have to remember to drive a strong point before the more fold, right? Before your copy gets truncated and skipped. So this is, I think, a great example. If you notice this caption here from DC Shoes, they open up with telling you tap through to peep the new snow outerwear collection from DC. They tag themselves here. So they're telling you, they have a product icon. So they're telling you to tap on the photo to check out the merchandise, right? So boom, they got that out of the way. And then they go on to tell you what the product's about, featuring a heavy duty winter jackets and blah, 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 telling you about the product. So they do a really good job of opening with that and asking for the call to action. And then for anyone who wants to learn more about it, they can click more, but they've already gotten that out of the way. And so again, it's just something to keep in mind, because oftentimes when you're creating your captions, Instagram doesn't tell you like this is going to get cut off. You just have to keep that in mind. Okay, and so again, if the copy above the more fold isn't motivating, people are not going to click through it, right? It's just the Instagram feed is super busy, so you have to catch people's attention, and you have to make sure that you're making it as easy as possible for them to scroll through. So here's a little pro tip. So similar to like Facebook, and if you guys have been part of the Facebook presentation in the past, you'll remember that I went through and spoke about how Facebook determines what content people will see, right? Because it's not, if you have used Facebook personally, you'll notice that it doesn't go in chronological order, right? It doesn't. You don't see all the posts that people and companies are posting. You see what Facebook determines that it will be relevant to you, right? Instagram works in a similar way now. They're not in chronological order. They're a little bit better than Facebook, but it's still similar. They will show you posts. If you interact with a specific Instagram account, you'll notice that you'll start seeing those posts more often than you did before because you interacted with them once, right? Same thing applies across Facebook and Instagram, but they have an algorithm internally that determines what content is higher quality than others. So if there's a video on Facebook, for example, that's getting a lot of likes, a lot of reactions, then that video will get shown more and more to more audiences, because Facebook's algorithm is saying, this is a great video people are engaging with, more people will want to see it. In the same way, Instagram has certain algorithm that tell the Instagram platform whether something is a great post, right? And that includes things like likes and comments, and maybe people sending the post to their friends, things like that. But what also goes into account is when people click the more button on your post. Now, even though you as a business, Instagram doesn't tell you how many people click on the more button, it does recognize that action as something that is a positive action that helps your post rank higher. So again, these are the little things that maybe we don't think about when we're posting, but maximizing your captions to make sure that you're intriguing enough for people to click on that is going to only help you and your post and your rankings. So this slide goes a little bit into, what comes first, the picture or the caption. Honestly, this is not really relevant to I think folks on this call. I think this is more when you think about an Instagram account. Let's say, for example, if you're thinking about like a local news station, right? Like let's say ABC 30. They obviously, their platform is more actually like a Twitter because of the real time aspect of news. But um, a lot of times when there's breaking news, there isn't always a photo to go along with it, right? So they rely on the power of their captions, because if they release a photo, you obviously, it has to be intriguing enough in the caption for people to, try to go through the link in the bio and try to find the image, things like that. But I would say for everyone else, with a couple different exceptions, your images are super important, and that's what matters probably the most. And then the caption, a strong caption, obviously goes second, but should be strong as well. So going a little bit into the call to action on your Instagram post. This example is this is basically just the caption. The image is above this, but we scroll down to just see the caption in this post. But again, this person wants people to go to their website, right? She has a link in her bio, so she posted something, and she wants people to hit the link in her bio to get the new diet plan. She's selling a diet plan, right? But what you'll notice here is that her call to action is obviously go to my bio. But what she did was she added her username, her handle to the post. So this is her own username, as you can see, but she added it to her caption. And what that does is she's telling people hit the link in my bio, but this is clickable, right? You can when you add a handle to your caption, it becomes clickable, whether it's yours, whether it's someone else that you're tagging, it becomes clickable. So me as a user, as a follower of this account, for example, if I click on here, it's going to take me directly to her bio, right? And what's in her bio? It's the link she wants me to click on. So she has added her bio, and it has made it as easy as possible for someone to click on her link in her bio. Otherwise, I would have to scroll up or scroll back and click on her bio picture so that it can take me back to her bio, and then I click. So there are more actions that I have to take. The more actions people have to take before they reach an action you want them to do, it's going to reduce the chances of them actually going through and doing it, right? So again, the key, make it as easy as possible as you can for that conversion, which is what she's done. So it's a little pro tip for those who have to drive people to a link in the bio, is add your own handle to your caption, and it makes it easy for people to reach your bio. And again, content, I always tell people content is the main ingredient, right? When you are scrolling through Instagram, you know that the Instagram feed is a busy place. So the first thing you have to do is grab people's attention. You have to stop their scroll, right? And stop it long enough for them to actually pay attention. So the way that you accomplish that is high quality images. When I say keep it clean, I mean like keep the photo clean. It's proven with the large brands, and you can even do this yourself. Go to a large brand, like go to a place like Nike or Instagram's or Adidas Instagram's account, or any big company you can think of, and look at their photos, and you'll notice that they try to keep their photos uncluttered. They try to either feature whatever product it is without any other distractions. A lot of their photos are people-centric, because it's proven that any photo that has a person's face on it gets more attention than a photo that maybe has a person's, like, their back of their head or something. So there are things that you can do in terms of best practices. Oftentimes we don't really think about it. We just take a photo quickly and we post it, but think about the composition of the photo. And this gets a little bit more into best practices of photos and uploading content, which, again, if you as a business, if you're there and you want to, step up your game in terms of uploading better quality photos, you're not sure if you need to buy a camera, you're not sure if you can use your phone, feel free to reach out to me, and I can help you with that sort of stuff too. I'll leave my information at the end. But again, you have to make sure that you're grabbing people's attention, and your photo is the first step. What people also ask me is, can I put words on images? On Facebook, there's for Facebook ads, and specifically, there is a 20% rule. right? So what does that mean? That means that no more than 20% of your image can be text. Otherwise, you can't run that advertisement on Facebook. Um, and the reason they do that is because they know that images with text, are very cluttered, and it makes the platform just look really bad, right? So you'll see that there are exceptions. Like, again, this brand, this company out of LA, what they do is they upload photos of their products and people using their products, but they do a really good job. They have these posts that they sprinkle in here once in a while that is just a quote or a caption, but you'll notice that it's on brand, right? The colors are on brand, so when people click on the link or when people just see the photo of the quote itself, they already know who posted it because they keep consistency in terms of the visual aspect of what it looks like. So again, there are ways to do it, but oftentimes it's easy enough for us to like post a flyer on Instagram, right? But it's oftentimes those flyers are way too busy. So I always tell people, best practice is upload an image that's compelling, and whatever information is in the flyer, post that in the caption, and then that'll get more engagement than if you were to just, people aren't going to take the time to read small copy on Instagram. It's just not going to happen. So just something to keep in mind there. And again, just quickly, a pro tip here. This is an example of GoPro's Instagram account, but they have a brand, right? You know that if it's a outdoor action shot and it has a little bit of that fisheye that's very familiar with their cameras that they use, you can almost tell that an image is from that particular company without even knowing that it's from them, right? So the same thing can apply to your own brand, whether it's within the colors or the type of photos that you're uploading. Make sure you're consistent so that people can then start recognizing your brand even without seeing your logo and things like that. I know we're a little bit, we're at time already, so I'm almost done here. I'm just gonna, and I can skip through these. These are just examples of different media types you can upload on Instagram. And then there are story highlights now that a lot of people what they're doing is they're using these to showcase products, showcase different categories of their business. If you're a business that offers services, you can highlight your different services here. So that's really powerful because these also live on your profile. So again, now these are becoming as key as your link in the bio, right? So it's good to leverage those. 80-20 rule, what that means is like, don't post on Instagram asking people to do things all the time, because people just won't follow you. You have to offer some sort of value. So I always tell people 80% of your posts should be giving something to your customers, whether you're entertaining them, whether you're educating them, you're giving them something of value. And then 20% of the time you're asking them for something, whether that's buy this product, click the link in the bio, blah, 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 right? Especially when you're first starting off, this is really important. After your business or your brand is established, this can be adjusted because people already recognize and know you, right? The insights button on Instagram for your businesses, that's where you get all your data. Again, all these best practices are just guidelines. They're not rules, right? Obviously, everyone has the freedom and they will use their accounts how they please. And there are people who use things in ways that you wouldn't think work, but they work. The key is consistency, in my opinion. So here is my information. Here's my email to Miguel at influenciaagency.com. Feel free to please email me with any questions. I'm happy to help. You can also visit our website, influenciaagency.com. But for now, what we'll do is we'll open it up to any questions that may be out there. And hopefully we can help answer those.
Hi, Miguel. Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. I'm going to share this screen in the meantime. So one of the questions that I saw here on the group chat was focusing in regards to how do you add captions, not captions, but links on the pictures. So I think it's the question is probably related into the e-commerce. If they have a website available, how do you add?
If the question is how do you add links on the captions, the answer is you can't. at least you can't ask. I mean, at least you cannot add a clickable link. You can still physically type in like www dot whatever your website is.com. It just won't be clickable, right? Which is why it's important to send people back to your bio. I'm not sure if that was the question, but if it was, again, the answer is making sure that your bio has the appropriate website you want to drive them to. And then instead of adding a URL within the caption or the image, just tell people to click the link in the bio.
Okay, thank you. And then another question that we have here is regarding the business account. How can the user see what are the peak times of the day? How would they, I know there's a way to, I guess the question is more of like the insights on how to.
Is it yeah, is a question like the which is it, I'm not sure if this is a question, but if it's when do I post, right, or when do I get the most engagement from my posts?
The most engagement,
Uh,
correct.
yeah, so when you, and that's a really great question, and there are specific times of day that depend, but it's relevant to your industry or business, right? That where your post will perform better. But the key here is to have a business account because that unlocks insights. So when you click on the insights section of your Instagram account, some of the data points that are revealed to you are also the time of day that people are engaging with your posts. So what you want to do is, you can run sort of like self experiments with your own content. But after you have a month or so of content and you've uploaded content at different times of the day, at different days of the week, you'll be able to see what time and what day performs the best. And you can sort of lean into that, right? If you say, for example, that 10 a.m. on Tuesdays are for some reason really good for your account, then you can lean into that and make sure that you're posting those important posts at that time. But all of that data is revealed in the insight section, which is also why it's very important to have a business account.
And that's actually perfect, that you mentioned that, because one of the following questions here is what the user currently has a personal account and they're debating whether they should create a new profile for their products and services, or should they just switch to a business and start promoting from that same personal account?
Yeah, and I get that a lot as well, because oftentimes businesses have been on Instagram for a while under a personal account. So what that means is that they have now accumulated a lot of followers, right? Or maybe that was a personal account, and then they started a business and they've been promoting the business on their personal account. The good thing about Instagram business accounts that's different from Facebook business pages is that you can convert your account into a business page and you don't lose any of your followers, right? You keep them. You just unlock different categories or different capabilities on your account. Now, what that also, when you become an official business, what that means is that maybe you're losing your personal account, right? Maybe now you can't really publish things that you would publish on your personal account because now it's your business account. Not that you can't, like, as a capability, but more of like maybe you should stick to being 100% on brand and on business. So so I would say the pro of converting your personal account to a business account is that you keep that growth. You keep your followers. If your personal accounts, if you have a pretty low count, and for some reason you want to keep that as a personal account, you can 100% start a new account, and that can be a business. So again, the only caveat is you're starting from zero, right? You have zero followers. So you have to weigh the options there. But yeah, once you can definitely convert a current page to a business page, you just have to go to settings, and there's an option there to convert to a business account.
Okay, perfect. And the other question here is Instagram one of the components that can be featured on Linktree? So I'm assuming Linktree is probably a third-party application. I'm not too familiar with the platform.
Yeah, I mean there are several out there. Linktree is just one of them, but essentially what they do is you can create, they're meant for landing pages, right? You can create landing pages on these accounts. Um, the way that we were presenting it on this in this presentation specifically, we were presenting it as Linktree as a capability to be able to drive people to a landing page that then offers them different link options. Because you can only upload one link on your bio, this is a great way to have people land on the Linktree account or a Linktree landing page, and then from there they can click on different pages that you manage, right? Whether it's a page where you're featuring products you're selling, or maybe a page where you're driving content. Now, if the question is, can I drive traffic from Linktree to Instagram? You can absolutely do that. You just have to, create a landing page, and you can use your Instagram account URL, right? So if you don't know what that is usually just Instagram.com/ whatever your handle is, and that's your personal Instagram account.
Perfect. And I know there's one more question here. I'm trying to see the participant if they can unmute themselves. Her name, basically the question was, they're a new user to Instagram, and they want to know more about how the updates, if the updates for Instagram are automatically, or do they have to be done manually?
Yeah, so to the actual, I'm assuming to the actual app, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's for the most part they happen automatically. But I would say it's also dependent on whatever settings you have on your phone, right? For example, if you have an iPhone, you can adjust settings so that your apps are updating automatically. But you can also shut that off. So I would double check that first. But otherwise, you can also, the easiest way to check if you have the latest version of an app is you just go to the App Store itself and look up the app, and it'll tell you if you can download an update to that app. That's an easy way to work around it.
Perfect. Well, that looks like that's the last question here, but I know we have a few closing remarks here, so we'll be happy to continue. You can continue sending your questions in the meantime while we finish the presentations, and we'll stick around to answer any other questions. So.
Yep, and what I'll do is I'll put my email and web address in the comments here for anyone who wants it for easy access, and yeah, hopefully it's helpful.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Miguel.
Yep, no problem.
I would like to, as we continue with closing remarks here with the webinar, I want to share that tomorrow at 1 p.m., we will be joined by the team at New Business Community Law Clinic at Berkeley Law. And we would like to share the invitation to everyone to join us for these upcoming webinars. Tomorrow's webinar will be providing a presentation on how to legally navigate the new normal as businesses continue to reopen. And next Wednesday on June 24, we will be co-hosting a Spanish webinar in partnership with our community partners, the U.S. Small Business Administration, the Fresno State Small Business University, and the Consulado de Mexico in Fresno. And the topic will be providing updates on the Paycheck Protection Program and also the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And on June 26th at 10 a.m., we will be joined by a representative from the City of Fresno's Attorney's Office to provide us information on the safety measures that small businesses should follow to be in compliance with the Emergency Order 2020-17. And once again, there's no cost to participate in these webinars, and we invite you to visit our website, fresnoahf.org/events, to sign up. And I also want to take this opportunity to share that the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, in partnership with FAHF, is offering personal protective equipment to small business owners that have reopened and are in need of supplies. For more information, please call our office at 222-8705, as our availability of supplies are limited, and we want to be able to serve those businesses that have recently reopened but are in need of these supplies. And that is it for on my end regarding welcome remarks. Thank you everyone for joining us. Please reach out to our organization regarding any business needs as we continue to um, continue with getting back into regular routine with us here with everything that's happening in our community and in the world. So if you have any questions, we'll continue to be here in the webinar regarding today's presentation on Instagram. So thank you everybody that joined us.